Today's 16-bit shenanigans are brought to you by Squarespace. But more on that in a bit. Just look at this glorious pile of parts. Today, we're embarking on a really interesting and special build. It's the rare and coveted STEALTH Apple IIGS. And if you enjoy turning yesterday's e-waste into today's anachronistic treasure, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. We do a lot of builds like this around here, so it's definitely worth sticking around. The Apple IIGS occupies a very special and kind of sad place in Apple's history. It's both the final crowning achievement in the Apple II line and the innovative first in a brand new line of Apple machines that would, unfortunately, never come to be. You see, the IIGS, that GS stood for Graphics and Sound, was released in 1986 as the successor to the fabled 8-bit Apple II line of computers. It came with a new 16-bit processor, advanced color graphics, and N-Sonic sound chip with its own dedicated 64K of RAM, all while remarkably remaining backwards compatible with Apple II software and hardware. The IIGS could even run its own advanced mouse-driven graphical interface, GSOS, which I've always been fascinated with, but I've never had the chance to play with. GSOS was beautiful and colorful in 16 colors. In fact, it looked a lot like a friendlier, more colorful version of the Macintosh interface. Speaking of Macintosh, that's what killed the IIGS. Despite being a powerful and competitive machine with a huge existing install base, Apple instead poured all of their resources into the Macintosh and canceled the IIGS in 1992. Adding insult to injury for IIGS fans, Apple actually kept selling the old Apple IIe for almost a full year after canceling the IIGS. Well, today we're going to try and do right by both the Apple IIGS and the Apple II line as a whole. We're going to build a machine that comprises the best of the 8-bit and 16-bit Apple II eras. The STEALTH Apple IIGS was a real Apple machine. Now, Apple just called it the IIGS, but we call it the STEALTH because it's actually a IIGS motherboard hanging out in an Apple II case, using the original Apple II keyboard and power supply. Apple sold it as an official upgrade for Apple II owners who didn't want to buy a newfangled looking desktop machine and just wanted to keep their old integrated Apple II setup. The problem was, hardly anybody wanted to do that upgrade. It was barely cheaper than just buying a whole new Apple IIGS, and you sacrificed your working Apple II in the process. So most people just bought an Apple IIGS, or more likely a Macintosh, and handed the old Apple II down to the kids. Well, these days, it's pretty close to impossible to find one of those original Apple IIGS upgrade kits, with the original IIGS case badge and a slightly modified backplate. Well, our good friends at Mac Effects solved that problem, kickstarting this brand new injection molded Apple II case with an option for a STEALTH IIGS. And better yet, they just recently concluded a Kickstarter for this brand new Apple II mechanical keyboard. I backed both of these Kickstarters, and now I have both of them right here. I'm so excited, along with a bunch of other modern Apple IIGS upgrades. So now it is finally time to build out my ultimate Apple IIGS. And if you think it's finally time to upgrade your web presence, check out the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. Squarespace's all-in-one platform makes it really easy to build a beautiful, responsive, and mobile-friendly web presence for your business, brand, or even yourself. Getting started is simple. Like, say I wanted to build a website all about how salty I am that the IIGS line was discontinued. I could build this in minutes with Squarespace. There's a ton of beautiful templates that I could choose to start from, and from there, it's simple to build a great-looking site that's fast, responsive, and mobile-friendly. With Squarespace's extensive built-in toolkit, I can also optimize for SEO, I can build a mailing list, I can check my analytics, and much more. all geared towards managing your entire web presence. So check out squarespace.com/actionretro today for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code ActionRetro to save 10% off your first website or domain. Okay, first, let's take a quick look at some of these other upgrades that I got. From Reactive Micro, I got this 4 megabyte RAM upgrade, which comes with the RAM Sims, although we're gonna have to solder these sockets on there. Also from Reactive Micro, I got the 2GS version of the Reactive Micro drive with a CF card here, which I believe is preloaded with a bunch of 2GS software, or at least GSOS. I kind of forget, but we'll find out. I also got the Othernet 2, which now comes in this cool white PCB. I have one of these in my regular Apple IIe, which you've probably seen me use to browse the internet on that machine. So hopefully we can do something similar on our brand new 2GS. And finally, I have a modern power supply along with adapter so we can reliably power all this cool new stuff. So first up, let's look at the 2E keyboard. Now this says clear keyboard, but there were a couple different options, and I actually fell in love with the Pantone beige on powdered black. Look at this. Ooh, it's so clicky. Feels beautiful. Oh my goodness. Now, this was not inexpensive. The tiers on this on Kickstarter started at $150, and yeah, I paid that full amount immediately because I absolutely wanted this to build that dream 2GS setup. And yeah, it's expensive, but it is quality. And yeah, these clicky Alp switches feel amazing. And you know, it's just amazing that a small team of just basically a few friends could put this whole thing together, manufactured with this kind of incredible quality as a labor of love. And that's really what you're paying for here. All right, it's time for the the big behemoth. This has been sealed in my house for like a year, just waiting for the right parts to build my ultimate Apple IIGS. I'm so excited to open this up, and at the same time, I hope it wasn't damaged in shipping all that time ago. All right, so we've got some stuff, some kind of a socket, a bunch of sticky stuff. Oh, there's our Apple IIGS case badge. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, check it out. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that, Apple IIGS. Wow, this is a high quality metal case badge. Beautiful. We have a README first, which is reminding me that they did send me another package that I'm gonna have to dig out somewhere that has some custom molded plastic tabs to fit the 2GS board inside the conversion base plate, so I'll find those. But here's the main thing. Wow, look at that. It's beautiful. It's clear, solid. Yeah, just look how beautifully injection molded this is. I mean, it's absolutely clear, smooth, and even this line in here, this edge is perfect. These details down here are perfect. Look at this. Oh, it's so beautiful. Wow. I'm so excited. This motherboard fits perfectly in here with the cutouts in the back, in the metal, for all the ports the Apple IIGS has that the Apple II doesn't. I mean, it has an ADB port, serial ports like a Macintosh has. it's amazing that this case has that stuff built right in perfectly, and it looks amazing. This metal plate is a thing that you can never find for the official Apple IIGS conversion kit. And a lot of people resort to cutting this out themselves in their real Apple IIe, which I don't want to do, and now I don't have to. And look, this kit also comes with the headers for the keyboard and power, because some of these 2GS boards had the solder pads for this stuff, but not the actual connectors. But I'm lucky enough that my 2GS board here has the headers already on, so I don't have to solder anything there. For right now, I'm going to use the known good power supply out of my Apple IIe, but eventually I'm going to use this modern power supply on this reactive micro adapter board just as soon as I can find a dead shell of a power supply to put this stuff into. All right, I've got the keyboard hooked up, and I've got this monitor hooked up to the RGB port on the Apple IIGS board. It's time for the first smoke test. Will this 2GS board still work after all of these years sitting in a box? Let's find out. Well, nothing yet. All right, now I'm going to install the reactive microdrive turbo, which uses a CF card adapter to make a CF card available as if it were an IDE hard drive. And yeah, it actually supports dual CF cards here, and it comes with a 512 meg card, which I think has GSOS on it. So yeah. Check it out. It works. And this keyboard, oh, this is just so beautiful. So we're booted into the CF card, and we have all sorts of stuff that we can run from here. We've got all kinds of games. We can play a little bit of Tetris, and it's even in color. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful RGB color. Oh my God, it's way too fast. Oh, well, that's too fast. But we can go into the control panel by holding Open Apple Control Escape. Maybe set system speed to slow, normal. All right. Oh, much better. Oh, this keyboard. It's so... Oh, I'm not winning Tetris, but this keyboard is so very good. Oh. But I don't think I can actually run any 2GS stuff. I get all kinds of errors, and I think we need to at least install the RAM expansion, which we're going to have to solder together. So let's do that now. And then our 4 1 megabyte sticks just pop right in here. Okay, so since we know that all of this stuff is working, let's go ahead and put that awesome case together and see what this thing is going to look like. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. Okay, well it actually seems like the RAM expansion might not fit in this case. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Huh. And now, of course, the most important part. Oh, these badges are beautiful. They're metal and they're so perfect. The matte background, the Apple logo, the shiny Apple IIGS. Oh, I love it. All right, I have solved all of our problems and I have done it through the clever use of pure jankiness. So first, let's boot this thing into GSOS. All we have to do is hold down Apple key, turn it on. It's going to ask us which partition or which volume from the Turbo IDE card. We'll say volume 2, which is where GSOS is, and look, there it is. Get some color in there. Booting into GSOS. Now you might ask yourself, how did I get that memory card in there? It definitely did not fit in this case before. Let me show you. Yeah, I just cut out 44 tiny little solid core wires here, soldered one end of each one to the pins on the memory expansion, and just shoved the other end into the pins on the expansion slot. And they kind of stick in there real well if I stick them behind the pin. So yeah, it works, and now it fits. And now check it out. We have a true Stealth 2GS in this transparent case with 4 megs of RAM and yeah, GSOS working just fine. And you might ask, why go through all the trouble of cutting out all these silly little wires and making this thing look, well, your trademark kind of cursed? And yeah, I wanted to bring this thing along this weekend to VCF East to show off, and definitely wanted it to be able to run GSOS. So I do have another normal RAM expansion card that will fit on the way, but it's not going to be here in time for VCF. So when that gets here, I will desolder all these little wires and find another 2GS to stick this 4 meg big behemoth of a RAM expansion into, and I'll just use a normal small sized RAM expansion in the Stealth 2GS. But yeah, how exciting is this? Just look at it. It's beautiful. It looks great. Total memory, 4,352K. Oh man. Okay, so that'll do it for this video. I'm so excited that this worked, and you know, it's even a little bit cursed, which makes it even more special to me. And I'm gonna have this thing this weekend at VCF East on display running GSOS with 4 megs of RAM on a janky 42 wire direct soldered memory expansion card. It's so great. This is so cool. This case is so beautiful. And yeah, this keyboard, oh my goodness, it is such a dream to type on. But we're not done with this machine yet. Not only do I have a better RAM expansion card for this case on its way, there is a bunch of other stuff that I want to stick into this thing, including some rare accelerators that I'm trying to get a hold of. And if I ever do, man, this thing is going to be awesome. But that'll do it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more 16-bit Apple shenanigans like this, please subscribe down below. And thank you very much for watching. And a special thanks to B. Perkins, Camilla Noseda, Chris Allegretta, Chris Briggs, Chris Calderon, Chris Nelson, Daniel Hubbard, Greg from Hurricane Mods, John Malman, Nano, and Scott Thompson, who are my highest tiered patrons, and all of my Patreon supporters who help to make these videos possible.